Tesla. Na thari de ngara chuge. He ramal. Gelang nimu ten. Tuju re. Laga. Tuju renga. Kisunji chigore. Thari nimu de ya phe na la. Hese na la na. Gelang. Cheje de kemi ki tapet kuram. Misa lamne digor digal tobre. Sevre. Kombar tobre. Jawar mujhe. Tenjo de phe. Dide chumre. Dida Jana Jungi Pearl to them with it and so the taller, and on the time today, Chile, the time in Yamru to ne, Tumzin Yamgi, Legupeada, and it can would have debated. Seta Shiata, when I get up to a Chaka chat, the gay color on the Bay San Francisco lived, and the day such a day. Bay San Francisco, the city hall, San Francisco City, such as native. Between gather to who are the top the basic solution. Everybody. Oh. So you have to come I said during Uprising Day, remember everything that happened on my My mom, I'm like the Asian. I don't look up and she's like.
거기에 이거 먼저 가리나? 아, 옛날 미인 이거. 옛날 미인 이거. 아, 섭 그리나 거. 데모 쓰고. 데모 망고요. 예쁘게 맞아.
Oba production YouTuber. Ada sudah.
Sudan lah.
Agora
Dia jenang ya.
Ini agora ya.
Mang nasal.
Pardo.
Ada yang khusus nang ya.
Pardo. Wana da kazu.
Ya, de.
Ane live
lah.
live.
Live lah.
Live.
Ame itu. Ada yang khusus nang ya.
Aga.
Kawa kalson ya, koin choson. Chalo nang kita mau sama tak. Mune.
Yore.
Ini de kori. Temos kalau biar pun semua. Tapi syukur samsul yang mampu sih tu. Setiap hari ni kelam itu. Weh, thani payah. Macam tu macam ni. Asyik kawan ni payah nak punya sah. Kalau pun ni lini nak sah, sah.
Aga.
Macam tu ni cool lah. Jazin mana?
Da diri ni menyengat agora ya. Kadi cal sema da.
Tes. Ye power kick.
Oh, dikor.
Aus. Cuma mende.
Jaya da, tandaran le da jaya da.
봐. 뉴스 민도 어디 인지가 싫어 왜? 남자는 가려면 그때 되니까 가려면 많이 나다. 뭐라 많이 나다.
테레 나다. 티 나다. 아, 빨리 와.
Hello? Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? 不行了。
We have a Gasha statement from Tibetan Association of California from Tank General Secretary Tsepala.
Just let someone know you Kashagi charity Shuan Ra this ring would do in a pair would do any option Serona. Statement of the Kashak on the 65th anniversary of Tibetan National Uprising Day. On this day, 65 years ago, in 1959, the people of Tibet from the 3 traditional provinces rose in protest against the repression of the Chinese Communist forces in capital Lhasa. Today also marks the 35th anniversary of the martial law imposed on 5th March 1989 after repeated peaceful protests in Lhasa in 1987, 88, and 89, and the 16th anniversary of the peaceful protest that erupted across Tibet in 2008. Since 2009, 157 Tibetans are known to have self-immolated for more freedom inside Tibet and for the return of His Holiness the Dalai Lama to Tibet. On this solemn occasion, we remember and offer our prayers in honor of our compatriots who have given their lives for the cause of Tibet. We stand in solidarity with those who are still suffering under the brutal occupation of People's Republic of China. Today, as we contemplate on the future of Tibet, we cannot ignore the developing events in Tibet and beyond. Currently, the ongoing Russia's invasion of Ukraine has exceeded 2 years. War between Israel and Hamas in Gaza has engulfed Eurasia. The powerful nations continue to forge alliances and China's economy continue to decline. Increasing and intensified suppression of fundamental rights of Tibetans and implementation of oppressive policies have resulted in an unprecedented threat to the survival of distinct Tibetan national identity. The PRC government's policy of exterminating the Tibetan identity since its invasion of Tibet has continued unabated for over 70 years. In the last decade, the PRC government has extensively expanded its pervasive Communist Party organizations to the grassroots level, accelerated massive population transfer within and outside Tibet, and tightened control over movements and daily lives of Tibetans by sending tens of thousands of work teams across Tibet. With surveillance through the grid management system, Tibetans are compelled to spy on each other. Externally, Tibetans are threatened with transnational regression. The PRC government is vigorously pursuing a policy of open quote, forging a strong sense of the Chinese as one single identity, close quote, by erasing the Tibetan identity. Promotion of Chinese language by banning and minimizing the teaching and use of Tibetan language, and syncretization of Tibetan Buddhism. Reinterpreting and conforming the content of Buddhist canons to suit communist ideology and manipulation of monastic discipline, and subjecting every Tibetan and every household to patriotic re-education campaign are aimed at eradicating Tibet's distinct religion, culture, and language. The Kasha has highlighted these policy measures and its implementation in its previous statements. The PRC government has issued various regulations and policy documents that contravene the foundational principles of the Chinese Constitution and law on regional national autonomy. On this occasion, the Kasha would like to highlight how these regulations and policies are being used to erode the Tibetan language and religion. Number one, marginalization of Tibetan language. The Chinese Constitution and law on regional national autonomy guarantees the autonomous regions to enact regulations on the exercise of autonomy and separate regulations. The so-called Tibetan autonomous prefectures and 2 autonomous counties incorporated into China's Qinghai, Sichuan, Gansu, and Yunnan provinces have declared regulations autonomously in their respective areas in the 80s. However, the so-called Tibet Autonomous Region, TAR, has not enacted such regulations until now. Although the governments of Tibetan autonomous areas are given less legislative power than Chinese provinces, regulations of autonomous prefectures and counties stipulate that the heads of various organs of government must be a Tibetan. Organs of autonomous area must use both Tibetan and Chinese as official languages when performing their functions. The Tibetan and Chinese languages be used for recruitment examination. The Tibetan language must be the main medium of instruction in primary and middle schools. Tibetan language professional and curriculum for specialized courses in Tibetan in universities and vocational schools in their respective areas, and the organs of government must carry forward the Tibetan traditional culture. Similarly, the Tibetan language work regulation enacted in the 90s facilitated the autonomous areas to establish offices to implement learning and use of Tibetan language. Textbook editorial offices for Tibetan and lower-level offices can write their official letters to higher offices in Tibetan. However, the contents of the document were revoked through amendments in 2002 and 2019. Instead, it was formulated that open for courses in compulsory education shall be in Tibetan and Chinese languages, close quote, thereby reducing the status of Tibetan to an optional language. As stipulated in the Chinese Constitution, the law on the national standard spoken and written language guarantees that all nationalities have freedom to use and develop their own language. Similarly, the education law and the law on regional national autonomy and compulsory education law of 1986 stipulate that, open quote, schools and other educational institutions with mainly ethnic minority students may use their own language for teaching, close quote. However, the provisions that mandate the use of their own spoken and written languages for teaching were withdrawn when compulsory education law was revised. Similar provisions and regulations of autonomous areas, prefectures, and counties were either altered or abrogated, as can be seen in Malho, Tibetan Autonomous Prefecture Regulation of 2021, and Tibetan Language Work Regulation of 2023. As the laws framed by the Chinese central government on learning and use of Tibetan language contradict themselves, the contents of regulations of the autonomous region, prefectures, and counties contravene one another. Irrespective of whether China is governed by law or not, the laws formulated by the Chinese central government, either in violation of the Constitution and the law, on regional national autonomy have become the key instruments being used to erode the Tibetan language. Alarmingly,